All right, Shalom family. I see some of you are here. We're going to give it a few minutes for more people to come in. We got a very special guest and a great conversation ahead. So you're going to really enjoy this next hour with our queen here. It's good to have her here.
Thank
Definitely.
you. Thank you.
And yeah, a lot of my subscribers are familiar with you. And
Okay.
that's good that you're here. And what I want you to do, let me see here. I want to get your link. Hold on one second. I'm going to get that link that
Okay.
you sent me because
Okay.
I want to post that link of your channel because people were saying they didn't even know where you were.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Okay.
was even by design the way they did that, because like
Mm-hmm.
I was telling you, they banned me for 2 weeks. And then while
Right.
I was banned, they were telling people were telling me they were getting notifications saying that this channel hasn't posted any content. Why don't you subscribe to someone else?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How that's so dirty.
Yes, and that prevents you from telling people that your channel has been gone or anything like that, or you know, because I saw it coming. Once they gave me that second ban for 2 weeks, I knew
Mm-hmm.
then, okay, they're clearly trying to take my channel. So I didn't have a chance to warn people because next thing
Right.
I know, they just took it.
Yes. Yes.
And you can't post, you can't even post in the community or anything once they ban you. So,
Mm-hmm. Shalom family. Shalom. All right, Queen, we're building up to more people. So I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself. We have a special guest here, and many of you are already familiar with this woman because you were telling me about her. So y'all already know the deal. Go ahead, Queen.
okay, so hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. I previously had a channel known as the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur Show. That's the channel that was terminated on January the 21st. Now I'm on Authentic Black Goddess TV.
Okay, great, great. So, some of you were asking what happened to our sister right here. So I'm going to let her go ahead and tell exactly what happened and why her channel disappeared. Go ahead, Queen.
Okay.
You got the floor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so when I first came on YouTube, it hasn't even been a year ago. It's been about maybe 10 months ago. I got shadow banned after about 3 weeks. Now, I was talking, saying a lot of things about COVID when that first started. I was always talking about pro Black issues, police brutality, social injustices, racism overall. And I was bringing light to different lynchings that were occurring that we were being told were suicides and things like that. So I was exposing these stories, and I was also giving knowledge on raising your vibrational conscience and all of those things. And as it progressed, I started noticing that many of my subscribers would complain about them being unsubscribed to my channel not being shown in the recommended videos and things like that. People telling me that when I went live, it was hard for them to find my lives and things like that. And so then I started, being harassed, cyberbullied, and attacked by racist trolls. Not only were they leaving nasty and threatening comments in my chat and on my in my comment section, emailing me and things like that. And those of you who watched my channel, you saw that I did videos about this one particular person who was saying that he was a former police officer for the NYPD named Tony Piazza, and I doubt that's his real name, but received numerous threatening emails and things from him, which I read aloud on my broadcast on several occasions. And
Mm-hmm.
then I ended up emailing YouTube's CEO, Susan Watsiki. Also emailed the CEO of Google, and I sent them the emails and comments or whatever that he had sent me. But so I never heard anything back from them, and I reported him to YouTube as well. I never heard anything back from them. He was saying murderous things. One time said that he was gonna kill. I'm gonna find you N word and kill you. I'm gonna kill all N words and all that stuff. And so YouTube just deleted the comments. Right. Nothing was done about it. Numerous times I complained, and then I remember it was I want to say it was December. No, it was November when I first got
Mm-hmm.
banned. November, they banned me for a week, and they accused me of giving medical misinformation, which I have
Mm-hmm.
never given medical misinformation because I always choose my words carefully. I always say, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving you medical information and things like that. And when something is my opinion, I say, wait a minute, I can't substantiate this. This is just my opinion. So I'm always careful how I speak. But they accused me of giving medical misinformation, in which I disputed it, and that didn't go anywhere, or I appealed it. That didn't go anywhere. They rejected my appeal. And then a month later, almost exactly a month later, because this was November 28th, and then on December the 26th, they gave me another community strike and banned me for 2 weeks that time. And this time they said that it was also for medical misinformation. Now, in between that, they had given me a strike also for what was it? They said cyberbullying and harassment. Now that's because I did a story about elite pedophile rings, and I had
Mm-hmm.
receipts and I had court documentation. This is all stuff you could look up yourself. It's all absolutely true. It's not a conspiracy. It was Nicole Kidman's father that I did the story on, Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony David Kidman, who was over in Sydney, Australia. And he was accused by Fiona Barnett. 60 other people also accused him. He ended up fleeing the country to Singapore and was found dead there a week or so later. They said it was a suicide. People speculate it was a satanic cult. Anyway, long story short, I was given a cyberbullying and harassment for that video, and they pulled the video. So when I
Uh-huh.
disputed that, I disputed it, of course, and I told them cyberbullying and harassment, that's illegal. Why haven't you pressed charges? And if I did this to anyone, a person or a group of people, who are these people? And I need you to give me the information, because if you can't provide the names of these individuals that I cyberbullied and harassed, then that is defamation, slander, and libel. And so
Right.
after I did that and used those words, then they said, oh, well, let us get the internal team to finish investigating it. And then they came back and said, okay, well, we made a mistake. It's not, that you didn't go against community guidelines. So they took away, that, but they never put my video back up. That's what they didn't
Right.
do. And here's the thing that's very interesting, Ms. Cabrera. When they took down my next video, which they accused me of giving medical misinformation, and that video was in fact about Breonna Taylor's case, and it was also about the young man by the name of Travis Nagdy, who was one of the top activists who had been leading the protests. When he came up dead, and they said it was a carjacking. And so I was talking about that, and I gave information from people that I had gotten, that I knew in Louisville who were close to the story. And I said, this has not been substantiated, but I told what people were saying, what they were thinking. They accused me of medical misinformation. And when I disputed that, of course, that appeal was also rejected. And they also said it was because I posted a video of Minister Farrakhan. They said that video also had medical misinformation. And the video about Minister Farrakhan was simply a video where I spoke about how he said, if they force the vaccine on us, then basically they've declared war. Now, I didn't give any medical misinformation on that. I didn't say anything medical. I just
It's not
repeated
even
what he
medical advice. Yeah, but that's
right.
not even medical advice.
Thank you. Yes. And so I just repeated what he said, and I gave my thoughts on what he said. And
Right.
with all of that, and here's the thing that was interesting. When they gave me a strike for that video was on private. That
Uh-huh.
video was private. And the reason I made it private is because after they gave me the strike for the other video and lied and said it was medical misinformation, I said, okay, clearly they're coming after my channel. So what I did was I had 484 videos, and I went through all of those videos. It took me hours, a couple of days to do this, but I went through all of those videos and I deleted some because I have all my videos backed up. I had them downloaded on external drives and on my computer and all of that. But so I deleted some of them, and some of them I just put them on private. And that was one that was on private. And when I asked them, well, why did I get a strike for this video that no one could even see any longer? And they said, oh, well, the algorithm goes through and detects certain things. That's what they told me in the chat. When you can chat with them or whatever. Yeah, they said that the algorithm picked up on it or whatever. So that is when they gave me the second strike. Now, for the third, they got my channel completely taken. They didn't give me a solid explanation for that. The basic thing that they sent me was something saying that due to numerous violations of community guidelines. They didn't say what was the straw that supposedly broke the camel's back. They weren't definitive about that.
Right. They never are.
Mm-hmm.
So then what did you decide to do? You just decided to just make the new channel and not challenge it any further?
No, I knew I was going to challenge it, but I actually made the new channel in November when they gave
Okay.
me the week strike. When they banned me for a week, I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I need to have a backup channel. And so I did the Authentic Black Goddess. I created that channel in November. So when
Okay.
they banned me for the 2 weeks, I was just, and what I was doing was this. When I was got my channel back up after a week, I was still going live on that channel and the Authentic Black Goddess channel.
Gotcha.
But now
Mm-hmm.
some things that I spoke about, I didn't put every video on that channel because I didn't want them to say, okay, they take this channel down, they take that one down. So what I did was I would go live on that channel about certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I knew were safe topics or whatever. And so basically I already had that channel in the works because I knew that something was, afoot. And so but I did continue to dispute them about terminating my channel. And they kept giving me all this, loads of BS. They kept telling me all this, giving me the runaround, basically, never telling me. And when I kept asking them, okay, well, if you're going to say I did this, can you just tell me exactly what medical misinformation I gave? Because this
Right.
video was about this. And so they never could answer those questions. All they would keep saying is, well, we have an internal team that looks into all of that. And if you don't want to get community guideline strikes, then maybe you shouldn't post these sorts of things. And I said, I understand that, but can you explain what is it about what I posted? Because I'm not the only one that posts this type of information. Can you just tell me what it is about what I posted specifically that you're saying is medical misinformation? And they never
Right.
had any definitive answers.
No, I can relate to what you're saying because the first time my channel went down was back in 2018. And
Mm-hmm.
I did a story. It was an NBC News story on drugs being sold on the dark web. Now, I was
Mm-hmm.
not saying, okay, come over here and click on opioids and buy that and get high on it. I wasn't doing that. I was
Right.
just showing how easy it was to get illegal drugs, and it was part of the reason why illegal drugs were flowing so freely through the country. So it was an NBC story, but they accused me of encouraging drug use, which I wasn't. And the story was not even about using drugs, it was how easy it was to access these illegal websites. And NBC
Mm-hmm.
didn't even show the website, they had everything blurred out. So you couldn't even see what site they were on.
Right.
So in the meantime, my channel got taken down over that one video, and the NBC story, the original one, was still up. And I went in there and I found hundreds of people that did a video on that same subject matter. They still
Mm-hmm.
had commercials on there, ads running on their videos, the whole night. I was like, oh, oh, hell no. That's when I
Right.
got furious.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, sometimes when you can't get them to listen to you, you have to go that extra mile.
That's right.
And it's very difficult. They got the system very difficult to even communicate with them because
Mm-hmm.
once you challenge them taking your channel down and they come back with a no, you have no other recourse.
That's right.
It's almost like they shut you down completely at that point,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
the
another thing
bottom
they
line,
do.
yeah, the bottom line, did you really violate community guideline? Because it don't sound like you did.
No, I absolutely didn't. And here's the thing. They think they're slick also, in my opinion, because when they take your channel, they take away your evidence. Because now, if you were going to say, well, my video didn't contain that, well, if they took your channel and you don't have that video, how do you prove it, right? And that's
Right.
why I'm so glad that I was downloading my videos to numerous
Mm-hmm.
places.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't get me on that. And when I let them know that, I said, well, you know what? It doesn't even matter because I still have the videos. And I said, I have proof that I didn't do what you're saying. You're clearly lying. You can't show me any proof. You can't tell me exactly and specifically what I did. And they just continue to give me the runaround. That's all they do. And here's the
Right.
thing. When they take your channel, how are you supposed to be able to give them your URL? Because they kept asking me in the chat, well, can you give us the URL to the channel? I'm like, you took the channel. How
Right.
am I going to go get the URL? So they know what they're doing. They try to play these little mind games or whatever. And then it's like they all tell you the same talking points. Well, you can't say such and such. And then they'll give you the link to the community guidelines and tell you to go read that. I already know what the community guidelines are. And that's why I know I
Right.
didn't violate them.
Right. Yeah. Here it
Yeah.
is. And we also are seeing a lot of subscribers that don't even put videos out, but based on their comments, they're also losing their channels. I noticed that is stepping up a lot on YouTube.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard from your subscribers.
Absolutely. Several of my subscribers, including a couple of my mods, I do believe, lost their channels. And so they had to, get other channels. But that's absolutely what they're doing. And I tell people, be careful of what you put in the chat and comment section because they are snatching your channels and they're not even giving you a warning. They're not saying,
Yeah.
well, you can't say this or whatever. They're just taking people's channels. Who does that for comments?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, the trolling, when did the trolling really started for you on your old channel? When did you notice the trolling and
The first
this
time,
person trolling you?
okay, the first time I noticed it, I want to say it was the end of September or the beginning of October when I
Okay.
received the first email. Now, I had always been having trolls, racist trolls in my comment section saying stuff and getting in my chat and all of that. But when they first started taking it as far as to sending me threatening emails and all of that stuff, I think that started either at the end of September, middle of September. As a matter of fact, I do believe it was September the 14th. I think
Yes.
it was September the 14th. And I remember specifically because my sister's birthday is the 15th. And it was right before then. So I think it was the September the 14th when I received the first one. And at the time, I was actually on another network. I had my channel and I was also on another network. And what I noticed they were doing is when they would send me these emails, they would CC the other network's producers. And I'm like, why are they doing all of this? So it's like they were
Mm-hmm.
trying to get me kicked off that network, I guess. And then also trying to scare me into being quiet because they were basically saying, you better shut up saying this and oh, I'm a former NYPD police officer and let me just tell you and you N words do this to yourselves and I have to gone into your communities and saved people's lives and cleaned up crime. And it's most of you killing yourselves. It's not the police, and you're less likely to get killed by a cop than you are to get killed by one of your own. They went on
Oh
and
my
on,
goodness. Yeah,
all this
that
crazy stuff.
same crap. Yeah. We
And
which
let me
we
tell
don't
you,
I don't even know why they're wasting their time saying that. We don't pay attention to that crap anyway. So
yes. And
um
let me tell you something else they did. They actually sent my videos. They were sending my videos to other people. They sent one of my videos to the Attorney General of Kentucky.
uh-huh.
Yeah, Daniel Coonmaron is what I call him, Daniel Cameron. They sent
Yeah.
it to him because I was talking about Breonna Taylor more than they wanted to hear. So they and how I know they did this is because every time they would send my videos to people, they would forward it to me to let me know this is what I did. And so they
Right.
sent the email to Daniel Cameron. They
But
sent it
what is
to
he
the
supposed to do?
right.
What is
I
he
said,
supposed to do? He
I,
can't do nothing to you if you didn't commit a crime anyway. So what is that supposed to do?
exactly. And also,
Oh man.
I
Silly.
think that they sent one of my videos to the Baltimore police. I think they thought that was going to scare me. Now
Oh wow.
the reason they did that is because someone has sent me an email saying that
Mm-hmm.
they were a federal officer, right, and saying that they had been harassed or abused by the Baltimore police, and they wanted me to do a story on it. So they said they were going to send me the receipts and all of that. So I mentioned it on a broadcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then the troll, took it upon himself to send this information to the, along with that video where I mentioned that, they sent that to the Baltimore police, said, oh, I don't know what kind of, paperwork she has or what kind of documents she's going to bring, but she's about to defame you all and she's going to say this, that, and the third, and you all need to do something about it. That's what he said. But yeah, so he was using all of these tactics to try to intimidate me, to try to get me to shut up. And the reason I did broadcast about him and reading his emails out loud, because I wanted people to know this is what's going on. I reported this to YouTube and they haven't done anything. And also to let him know that you don't scare me. I don't care about
Mm-hmm.
trolls. You can say whatever you want. You're not going to shut me up. I'm going to say what I want to say, as I have a right to. And I'm not going to be intimidated into silence, because that's what racist demons and devils want you to do. They don't want you talking about their nefarious agendas and the plots and schemes and plans. They don't want you bringing up their history of hatred and racism. And then they want to label us as racist because we're complaining about their racism. So no, I'm not going to shut up. But that's what he kept telling me. Oh, you are one racist lady. You need to stay in your place. You don't know your place, girl. That's kind of stuff he was telling me.
My goodness. Oh my
He was,
goodness.
he was
Yeah,
sending
whatever.
different emails and acting like
Mm-hmm.
different people.
Yeah, usually they do. That's one thing I can honestly say. Trolls will have multiple accounts.
Mm-hmm.
but you know it's them because they don't change how they say things. So you just look at you like, no, that's the same person. You know,
Exactly.
that's how you can always pick up on. I see that all the time. You know,
Yeah,
if they're not using, if they're not trolling you, then they're using some kind of bot.
exactly.
And I get a lot of the bots, but I kind of been able to conquer that a lot better than I have before in the past. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it don't appear in the comment section like it used to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've experienced that.
Yeah.
So how has everything been on your new channel? Do you know anything that has it improved since you started your new channel? Or are you noticing the same patterns of trolling and everything?
Um, that same person was trolling for a minute on my channel, but you know when he stopped, when I let him know that I called the
Mhm.
FBI. When I let him
Oh,
know I have
there you
reported you
go.
to the FBI, and I've sent them all of the receipts, all of the comments that I've screenshot, and I told my moderators when you see, people, someone saying nasty things or whatever in the comment section, in the chat, screenshot and send it to me, and they
Yep.
did, and so I sent that. I found an FBI report. I absolutely did. I sent that. Emails, numerous emails where he's trying to act like these other people and all of those things. I sent all of that to the FBI. And when I let him know that, I haven't heard from him since.
Yeah, you know, the FBI have a civil rights division, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what the civil rights division is for. And they want you to come and let them know when you're being racially harassed and everything. That's what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I have not come, not, and I'm being real honest, I have not come across too many in fact, none that have not been racially harassed, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's on, through a comment section or on live stream. I think virtually everyone I know online have been racially harassed.
Yes.
And how is it when you use blocking and reporting tools? Because I can tell you myself, mine never work. And I get a lot of that also from my subscribers. How about you? Do you hear
Yes.
anything about that?
Well, I know for myself that the reporting tool doesn't work and the
Mm-hmm.
block. Now, I was wondering why when I would try to block trolls, I would see
Mm-hmm.
that same person back in my comment section talking trash again. And
Yeah.
or in my I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I blocked them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what I did notice is that if you hide them, that would work. But just trying to
Mm-hmm.
block that wasn't working. They would be right back on there. And I'm like, wait a minute, I know I blocked this person. Is this
Right.
another account with the same name? But no, it couldn't have been because it would be like, maybe 5 minutes later, they're saying something again. I'm like, I just blocked them.
Right.
Yes, I don't think the block tool works on my channel. It was working on that channel. I don't think so.
Did it work on your last channel?
On the last channel, I don't recall because I haven't blocked anyone on there. I usually let the mods do that. I
Okay.
haven't had any I haven't had any nasty comments in the comment section, but in the chat, I did have a couple of trolls coming in there, and my moderators would block them.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
It works on there, I guess, because the moderators are able to block people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's
Yeah.
another thing. When I told you about how um, people were getting notifications telling them, oh, you should subscribe to someone else. This person hasn't posted in a while, and then somebody said they got something that basically told them, do you want to block this channel and subscribe to somewhere else? I'm like, why would they ask, do you want to block my channel? That was on my old
Right.
channel, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so when I complained to YouTube about that, and when you're a YouTube partner, you can talk to them in the chat or whatever. So I would always talk to them in the chat. And when I was talking to them and I asked them about this, they said, we don't do anything like that. And I said, well, I'm telling you, it's been done. And they said, well, do you have a screenshot? And I said, absolutely. So I sent them the screenshots of where, my subscribers were sending me this and telling me this is what's going on. And then
Yeah.
also when I told them that I noticed that I'm losing subscribers, I sat there one day and in the analytics section of YouTube Studio, I literally watched as 40 subscribers were deleted. Okay.
Yeah. I've experienced that. Yeah, I've had that experience too. Now,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. And the thing is, trolling, I don't believe, I believe they could if they really wanted to control trolling, but
Mm-hmm.
they choose not to. That's just my
Absolutely.
opinion. And as far as us being hateful and racist, that's just a load of BS. First of all, we don't control any institution that can exclude people. We don't have that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So,
We
and
don't have the power.
right, the Black experience is different from everybody else's experience in America.
Hmm.
So, of course, our videos are going to come across different because who else is getting oppressed up in here? Who else
Right.
is getting shot down by the police? Who else is going through this on a regular basis? They're not.
Hmm.
So, we are talking about a lot of things based on life experience. Our life experience is not going to be that of a white person.
That's
So
right.
for you to think our videos are going to sound like everybody else is just ridiculous in itself. Number
Yes.
two, number two, you know, what I can't stand is the hypocrisy. You'll have these people, they want you to respect their freedom of speech,
Hmm.
respect their right to say things, but as soon as we say things, they want to micromanage us and shut us down. No, you
Exactly.
know, that hypocrisy is for the birds.
That's
You
right.
know, no, we can't live through 500 years of oppression and then never talk about it. That's unrealistic. Okay, it
Exactly.
would be unrealistic even if they were going through it.
That's right. But that's the thing. They don't want the truth being spoken about them. They don't want to be reminded of the things that they have continued to do. And so when we complain about it, that's bothersome for them. So they want to use reverse psychology and project themselves onto us and act like we're the ones being hateful when all we're doing is complain about their hatred towards us. It's
Right.
like when we say Black Lives Matter and then they say all lives matter. And then I've heard them say, well, if you have to put a color in front of it, then that's racist. Okay, but you all can say blue lives matter. Please make that
Right.
make sense. But they can't make it
Mm-hmm.
make sense because they're the biggest hypocrites and liars. That's what
Mm-hmm.
they are. They are
And
liars, and liars hate the truth.
right. And I got slammed on a video that I put out and I kind of chuckled at it.
Hmm.
And I was like, wait a minute, this is Black History Month. So right now, I would be fully within my right to talk about history. So I'm going to do
Absolutely.
it. Tomorrow, I'm going to do the Catholic Church and slavery. That's what
Hmm.
I'm doing tomorrow. But watch over there. Oh, that's racist. No, it isn't. This is what really
Hmm.
happened historically to my people. And I got the right to talk about that.
That's right.
I got the right to talk about, as a Black person, anybody that gets gunned down in my community that I see get armed and, out in the street and they're getting gunned down unarmed. I have the right to talk about that. Why
That's
not?
right.
Well, why do I
Absolutely.
have to wait for another group of people that outside of me to talk about that? I should be able to talk about that.
Yes, absolutely. They talk about things that have happened to them. Don't they still continuously talk about 9/11 and say,
Nine
never
11.
forget, never
Mm-hmm.
forget, right? They
Mm-hmm.
talk about everything that happens to them detrimental, but they don't want us to talk about the things that happen to us. That's because they're the ones that did it.
Right.
That's what that is. And in fact,
Mm-hmm.
everything nefarious that's happened to anybody on the planet, they did it. I'm sorry, they did. So even the things that are detrimental to them, didn't they do it? We never
Yeah.
did it. They did it to
Right.
themselves.
Right. Yeah. And and then we got to listen to all these false equivalences that they make, which I think are laughable.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've even had people, and I kid you not, I've had subscribers that post Bible scriptures, okay, Bible scriptures, and
Hmm.
they lost their channels, or
What?
their posts never make it. They'll put a Bible scripture up and they said, look, I tried to post a scripture and they took it down. Yes.
That is really
it-
crazy.
that is like overboard. That is
Yes.
just ridiculously overboard.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've had that too.
Yeah,
And
that's real crazy.
yeah, and I remember, even not even here, but also even on Facebook, they would have an issue if you quoted or you put something up about Minister Farrakhan. They didn't
Oh,
want him. They
yes.
didn't want nothing from him on here.
They
Thank
sure
you,
don't.
Stage Worthy, for the super chat. Yeah, they had an issue with you posting. And what did Minister Farrakhan do? He commit the Holocaust or something?
Right. That's what they act like, though.
What
And
did he
talking about
do?
he spreads hate. He doesn't spread hate. He spreads the truth. And because his ideas are contrary to theirs and they don't want the information told, which is the truth, that's why they want to silence him. And they don't want anyone talking about him. And you know what? I think that's one of the other reasons that they came for my channel, because I was referencing Minister Farrakhan. I did a video about Minister Farrakhan and Madonna. Remember when Madonna was talking about Minister Farrakhan?
Yes.
Um, I did a video on that. And then also that video that I did, the one I told you they pulled when I said repeated what he said about the vaccines. So yeah,
Right.
they didn't like any of that. Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the last straws for them.
But let's be real with the vaccine. You know, medically, we have been mistreated. I've even heard these things from my own family
Mm-hmm.
and friends where they'll go to the doctor and they'll say, I'm feeling pain. I'm feeling pain. The pain is in this one look. And the doctor will look you in the face. Doctor don't look like you, will look you in the face and say, no, that ain't pain. That's all in your head. How you gonna
Yeah.
tell somebody what they feel? First of all, where do you get off telling somebody how they feel?
Mm-hmm.
But these are things I've heard multiple times from family members and everyone. Oh, I told them,
Mm-hmm.
I had pain going down the side of my leg. They told me that
Yes.
wasn't pain I was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know
just
how
told my
insulting that
subscribers
is? That is
exactly.
insulting.
They still do that. And I was telling my subscribers a few weeks ago that happened to one of my friends. Went to the hospital and had was literally about to have a stroke because they have high blood pressure. So they had this
Mhm.
awful headache to the point that they were vomiting and everything and nausea and everything. And they went to the hospital and they said the nurse told them the doctor was discharging them after 3 hours. And the doctor
Uh-huh.
had never even come in to see them, never come in to see them. Just had the nurse taking their vitals, asking them questions and all this and that. And
Right.
so she asked the doctor, the nurse, why is he discharging me? What is the diagnosis? And she says, well, he diagnosed you with vomiting. She said vomiting is a symptom of something. That's not a diagnosis. So
Right.
she said, well, nevertheless, he told us to discharge you. So, or he told us to, you're discharged or whatever. So she left a few hours later, ended up at another hospital, and they said she was in hypertensive crisis on the verge of having a stroke. Blood pressure was
Wow.
over 200 and something. It was like 230 over maybe 180 or something like that. It was crazy high. So they had to
Right.
put her on IV and everything to get her blood pressure down. If she had just gone home and stayed there, she could have died of a stroke. But he
Yeah.
discounted her pain. When the nurse asked her on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your pain? She said a 10. They didn't give her
Right.
anything for the pain. They think you want drugs a lot of times. They think you want Oxycontin when you go in there.
Oh boy. And
Mm-hmm.
but see that's even jacked up because many of us already got a medical history. You can look in the
Mm-hmm.
medical history and tell there is no drug use or illegal drug use. So if you see
Exactly.
that in a person, why are they, it's just like Dr. Susan Moore. You know what
Mm-hmm.
happened to her, right?
Yes, yes. I reported
Yeah.
on that. Yeah.
I mean, she is telling you I'm having trouble breathing. And
Mm-hmm.
when she's talking, you can clearly tell. Wait a minute,
Yes.
this woman is laboring a little. You can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But that doctor looked her in the face trying to tell her, well, no, we just gonna get you out of here. And
Mm-hmm.
that is the problem. That is the root of the problem. When we don't
Yep.
look like the doctor, they don't take us seriously.
No,
That
they
is the
don't.
truth. That is a fact. It is something we've been up against forever in this
Mm-hmm.
country.
There was a
Yeah.
video posted the other day. Did you see the video where the young black guy was in the hospital and the white doctor cursed him out
Yes.
when he was in pain? Yeah. She
Hmm.
thought he wanted drugs.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw one a few years back. It was a heavy set white nurse that
Mm-hmm.
went in, and a black guy, he was injured. He didn't have an
Mm-hmm.
ill, but he was injured. She tried to say there was nothing wrong with him and he really did have a fracture.
Wow.
And she's standing there talking about there's nothing wrong with you. Wait a minute, did you x-ray him? Did you
Right.
what kind of examination you did other than look fat and stand in the doorway?
Right.
I'm serious. It just gets ridiculous. You get tired. You get worn out
Yes.
from this stuff after a while.
Yes. I think some of that comes from the fact how they used to perform those surgeries on black people, especially black women, without the use of anesthesia. So
That's
they seem to think
history.
that we naturally have a high threshold for pain, which is so stupid.
Yeah.
Serena Williams almost she said she was a victim of that when she had her child.
Mm-hmm.
And she ordered them, she demanded they do a CAT scan because she wasn't feeling right. And I think she had an aneurysm or something like that.
Right. Yeah. You know, but yeah, that's the thing we have always been up against. That's why they're now telling us that we do way better with black doctors.
Yes,
because they have that connection with us and understanding, and plus black doctors
absolutely.
also going through a lot of I did a video a few days ago, and it was
Hmm.
two black doctors talking, and they said when they walk in a room at a hospital, if the patient is white, they'll look at them and say, well, where's the real doctor? Like, they're not a real doctor. Where's the real doctor? I was like, wow.
Well, you know what? You know that guy, Tom Wise.
Yes.
Okay, so he's supposed to be such a ally to black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he said out of his own mouth that he got on a flight one time going somewhere, and the pilot and co-pilot were both black, and he said the first thing that he instinctively thought was, "Are they capable of flying this plane?" And he realized, he said at that moment he realized himself that there was still racism in him too.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
says a lot. That says a lot, and I'm glad he admitted it because now I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, he was
Hmm.
never anybody I propped it up anyway.
Mm-mm,
You
him or
know?
Jane Elliott.
Mm-mm. I don't prop up those two. And I've seen a couple of our people even had them on their panel. I don't want them people on my panel.
No.
I really don't.
T.I. was doing the most when he was giving Jane Elliott all those props, but he didn't say anything about Dr. Frances Cress Welsing.
Yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
was so crazy. She's going around telling people about race. We already know about race. We don't need her to tell us. We know about it, and they know about it too because they invented it. So please miss me with it. Really, all those people are doing is profiting off of our struggle. That's all that is.
Yes.
They're making a living off of our struggle. How are you helping us? Because you going around talking, it's not doing anything.
No.
You're not tearing down the walls of wannabe white supremacy. That's not what you're doing. So really, that's just really making a living off of black people. And then when they asked her about reparations, she said the natives should get it first. That's what she said. I'm sorry, but I thought the natives already got reparations.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we are those real natives anyway.
Hmm, yes,
To be
absolutely.
honest with you, we're really technically the real natives of
That's what
this
I am
land.
classified as. That's what my paperwork says. I was telling people that I showed them my documentation yesterday on a video that I did.
Mm-hmm.
When someone trolled me, and another YouTuber trolled me and did a video about me saying that I'm trying to attach myself to Africa and I'm not proud of being, a part of the people from America. And that's when I showed them my paperwork. I said I am legally classified as a North American native of Cherokee descent. That's what my
Mm-hmm.
paperwork says. I'm not African American because African American, that term makes you property. That's all
Mm-hmm.
that does.
Yeah, I mean, what they try to do, and it's very deceptive.
Mm-hmm.
When they talk about natives, they only show you one type of native. It was many types of natives, and many of those natives were dark complected with woolly
Mm-hmm.
hair.
That's
But
right.
that's the native they won't show you, you
That's
know?
right.
So it's very deceptive. They make you think these folks they pushed on reservations, those were the only Indians here, and that is simply not true. And it's
Absolutely.
documents that show that there were very dark-skinned people with woolly afro hair and braided hair here when they
Mm-hmm.
showed up. So the history alone has been just nothing but one big deception after the next. I'm so
Absolutely.
frustrated. I won't even, if somebody is talking about history, I know it's wrong, but I'll look and see who it is. Based on who it is, I'll just turn away. Like, okay, I don't want to listen to this. I know I don't want
Exactly.
to listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know that my people were here too, Queen. I did my family tree. And on my
Mm-hmm.
father's side, I was able to get all the way back to the 1500s. And I was like,
Really?
okay, that predates that 1619 date they're giving us. So
Right.
wait a minute, something ain't right here. Something ain't right.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Yes. So the lies are real. And that was all they really told the story of slavery in reverse,
Yes,
acting like everybody was brought here on slave ships, when in fact it was only about 8% of the slaves
right.
were brought here on
That's
slave
what I
ships.
was telling my people. I said they did bring some over, but not at the numbers they're
That they
telling us, and
exactly.
greatly exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, we are the original people of the earth. We had already traveled the earth
Yes.
and lived all over the earth before these folks even showed up in America.
That's right. That's right.
We're global people. We lived everywhere.
That's right. Yeah, we are
So,
indigenous to every place on this earth. They're not.
Mhm.
They are not.
I mean, and the Johnny come latelys were the ones that were teaching. So that's why we know
Right.
why everything is so screwed up.
Exactly.
I mean, history is good, but not the way we're learning it. You
Right.
know, I learned all the wrong things too, and history is like a re-education journey that you got to go on to
Hmm.
really learn who we are for real.
That's right. And that's why it's good to sit down and talk to the elders.
Yes.
Some of them. Now I'm gonna say some because some of the elders are brainwashed and they're not coming out of it. You start telling them some of the things, they think you're crazy and they don't want to hear it. But
Yeah.
luckily, some of the elders, they know the truth and they can tell you about your history and your roots and tell you where the lies all started.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
grandmother always told us about who we are, that we are from Cherokee descent and all of that stuff, and how they used to steal the black people's lands. They stole over 200 acres of land from my family
Yeah. My
back in the
family lost.
60s.
Yeah. Our family lost property down in the South through eminent domain. That's how
Mm-hmm.
they got it away from my family. Eminent domain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 So yeah, it's a trip when you start learning. And I also learned, believe this, Queen, I also learned that one of my relatives was a
Mm-hmm.
breeder. He was a
Was a
breeder.
breeder. Oh,
He was a
really?
breeder. He had over 300 children.
Wow.
He was a breeder. Yes.
Wow.
I said, boy,
Yeah.
some sick ass shit they done did to our people.
Yes,
Some sick
absolutely.
stuff. But yeah, one relative was a breeder. That's what he did, just impregnate female slaves.
Mm.
That's what he did on
Yeah.
on a breeding farm.
Right, right. And sometimes they would make siblings do that, or fathers and daughters, mothers and sons. They're just sick.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
sick.
they didn't care. They didn't care.
Hmm. So I got a whole host of relatives in the South. I have no clue to who they are, but they're my family. I don't know who they are
Hmm.
because of that.
Right. And that's sad. That's the
Hmm.
sad thing about it. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, a lot of the things they did back then, they're still practicing and doing many of those things today. They
Hmm.
just put it under the guise of something else.
Right.
Just like slavery, prison, same thing.
Hmm.
They have slavery is still going on a mass scale as we think about it, because even with the human trafficking, that's slavery.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and they've actually even taken adult men into slavery. People who are down on their luck, living on the streets, they promise them a job and making all this money and then take them out of state, and they end up having them working 12 hours a day in hazardous conditions with no protective gear and not paying them anything
Hmm.
and not allowing them to leave. And many of them have escaped, and then they come and tell their stories, and you can read about it, but you don't see it on the mainstream media. That's where you don't see it.
Yeah. Well, see, that's why they love immigration with all those
Mm-hmm.
people coming over here from South America, because that's just another affinity for slavery. You put them out in those farms and they're getting pennies on the dollar per hour,
Yes.
working out in that hot sun. And COVID is real, it's wiping them people out. It is
Yes.
really bad among those migrant workers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Well,
crazy.
just keep in touch and let us know what's going on with your channel. And I always try to get the word out if
Well, thank
something
you.
happens. And, because like I said, it was several people that came to me when I posted that I was going to be talking to you. They were like, I was wondering what happened to her. We're looking for you online. And they were wondering what was going on.
Well, I'm glad. Yeah, I had said that. I told my mods. I said a lot of people don't know where I am.
Right,
Because the way they do it is very sneaky and crafty. To ban you for 2 weeks and nobody sees you for 2 weeks, and then just to snatch your channel. That's a
right,
good way to do it because there's no time for you to warn people or any of that. And then when you're banned for 2 weeks, people don't know you're banned. They think you're just taking a break. That's what a lot of people think. And
yeah,
especially if those people aren't on other platforms like Instagram and Twitter, that's where I would post things, so people can keep up with what I'm doing or whatever. I would go live on Instagram sometimes, but a lot of people aren't on those platforms. They're just
right.
on YouTube. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's why a lot of people don't know. And that's how you lose a lot of your viewerships, your subscribers and things.
Yes, yes. So how many came back so far that were able to find you?
Um, I have 5,600 on Authentic Black Goddess. On my
Right.
channel that got terminated, I had over 19,000. I had almost
Wow.
20,000.
Wow.
And that was good considering I haven't been on here for a year. So that was good. But yeah, that's and I probably had more than that. I absolutely think I had more than that for the simple facts. So many people were, getting unsubscribed from my channel. And then
Yeah.
they also had me shadow banned. So when they have you shadow banned, you
Mm-hmm.
have more viewers than they're showing.
Right.
That's the thing. You
Right.
always have more viewers than they're showing. So I don't know how many I actually had, but I had it was posted that I had like over 19,000.
Right.
So
Right. So do you put out videos every day or just,
yes,
a few
yes,
times a week? Every day?
I
Okay.
go live Monday through Fridays. I do at 9 a.m. I do
Hmm.
the morning wake up call.
Okay.
And then so at 6 p.m. every evening I do your daily vitamin.
Okay.
And then I do that. And then on Saturdays, like tonight at 8 o'clock, it's True Crime Saturday. So I do my true crimes.
Okay. And you said you
Yeah.
also do paranormal things, right?
Yes, yes, I have. Now, see, here's the thing. After they got rid of my channel, my Queen Ahmadiyyah channel, I said, okay, I'm just gonna make a whole bunch of channels talking about all different things that I, have information on. So I have Queen Ahmadiyyah TV presents Beyond the Realm, which is a channel with paranormal stuff. I'm gonna post on that tonight also, and then I have another one, Queen Ahmadiyyah TV presents The Root of All Evil, where I tell true crime stories about nefarious things that people have pulled off for money, like heists and robberies, things like that. I talked about the Loomis Fargo heist last night on there. And
Uh-huh.
then I have another Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. That's like my other channel. I just did that one over. And what's the other one I have? Oh, and then I have Queen Ahmadiyyah TV, More Than Meets the Third Eye. And that's where I
Okay.
talk about higher levels of consciousness, opening your third eye, activating your pineal gland, and raising your vibrational frequency and being in tune with the universe and things like that.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, we got so many different things we're interested in, a lot of different
Right,
topics that we cover. You know,
right.
I have a 24/7 um, ambient noise where you can just listen to nature sounds. And
I listen to it.
meditation, yeah, meditation
I
is in the
listen to it.
Bible, y'all. I actually
Yes,
had a woman come and said, well, what's the point in this? And she actually had the name Bible in her screen name. And I'm saying, do you read the Bible? The Bible tells us to meditate.
right.
We're
It
supposed to
does.
meditate and pray. And, those are things we are supposed to do naturally on a regular
Yes.
basis.
And I
That's
listen to
weird.
that too. I listened to that. As a matter of fact, I was listening to it the other day. Didn't you have something on there? Uh, I think it was something about a monkey and a monkey having a baby or something. It was something. There was some animals with
Yeah,
wildlife on
I
there,
got
whatever.
one that got animals. Yeah,
I
there's
was
a bunch
watching
of
that. I
different
was listening to
animals.
that. Yes,
Yeah,
I was listening to that just a couple of nights ago because I listened to that and I also listened to Native American music, flute music. I listen to
yes.
that when I meditate also. So yes, I love that.
Hmm. So I
Hmm.
mean, I was like, wow, some people, I guess they got this far and still don't know meditating is supposed to be part of what we do on a regular basis, you know?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. That heightens your consciousness and it puts you in touch with the universe and the most high.
yes, that's right. And
Hmm.
you're supposed to even meditate when you do the 613 laws of the Bible. You should be meditating on that,
That's right.
you know? That's
That's
another
right.
thing you should be doing.
Yes.
So, yes, yes, incorporate those scriptures and prayer, and that's how we do it.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So,
yeah.
Queen, thank you. I'm so glad you came. I'm so
Well,
glad we
thank
spent
you.
this time. And we'll definitely do this again, and we'll cover some more topics, in the future.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know?
Great.
Oh,
Yes.
definitely.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you having me on. I absolutely appreciate it.
All right. So you can have the closing statement. I'll let you talk to the people.
Okay, so I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. It has been my pleasure talking with you, and I appreciate my royals because I know they're all in the house. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
call my subscribers, the royal family, the royals. I would like to thank you all for tuning in. I would just like for everyone to stay motivated, to stay on high vibrational frequencies, like I always tell you. Stay blessed, do something productive and constructive, and always remember to keep the Most High first in your life.
Amen. Amen. All right, Queen. Um, thank you. It was a pleasure having you. And everybody in the chat, please enjoy the rest of your night. Shalom, family.
All right, talk to you later.